Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's episode learning SketchUp, I want to show you the best way of using Component. Component is a great tool in SketchUp that can help you create a library to place all of your models that you are using on daily basis. Also, it can bring down the size of your SketchUp by creating component and make a copy of them when you put them in your library. So without further ado, let's jump into SketchUp so I can show you all the details about creating components. In today's video, I want to review a difference between component and a group, and also want to go into a component in detail and understand how we can leverage these great tool that we have in SketchUp. So the main difference between the component and the group, component stays in your model and it's gonna be saved in your component library. So you can basically drag and drop it over here, and you can use it for the items that you have a lot of them in your model, such as columns, beams, walls, anything that you have the same type. Because when you create a component, if you make a change to one items, all the other one is gonna change the same. So let's start and see what we're talking about. So the first library that I want to show you is right here, just under the component. This is going to be your library. You can place your item. So first I'm going to triple click on this one, a right click, make a component, right? So the first thing that you see, it says basically write a component, create a component of these column. Let me just grab this as a different screen. So as soon as I right click, it's gonna show up a box, create component. The first one is definition. So this has to be unique. So it's gonna be a unique name for every single object. So right here, I'm just gonna put column one. And then if you need a description for this item that you wanna create, you can kind of place it over there. The next one right here under the alignment, if you make these drop down, it basically give you a different option. It says glue. Glue means stick. So if this says glue to none, means when you bring these component, it's not gonna stick to any surface, right? So it's gonna stay separately. If you want to glue it to a surface, horizontal, vertical, or slope, you'll be able to select those. So when you bring that component in, it's going to align it with the surface that you have when you place it in. So if you want to glue to nothing, just select none. If you want it to be glued, you need to select any of them. By glue means if you have a window, if you have a specific window, if you have doors, if you have a different opening that you want to place it on a surface, you can basically do the same thing. So let's say you want to do a window on the wall, you select the horizontal or vertical, you're going to place it on the door, on the wall basically, or it's going to be opening on the floor, it's going to place it over there. We're going to go through it and do a few example, but I just want to go through all of these items so you guys understand what we're talking about. So the next one is set components. So set component access is we're talking about this. So if you're happy with basically just global X, Y, and Z, you can leave it that way. But this is really helpful when you have skewed images or geometry and you want to align it to the global axis. This is going to be a great tool to use it. So you can basically align X, Y, and Z. When you draw over them, it's going to be really easy and fast to do it. Cut openings, you're basically just placing an opening. It's going to create a hole in the surface. So when you place, let's say, your window on the wall, it's going to cut out the wall and you can see the window or the door or whatnot on the area. Or let's say you have a slab, you want to put an opening in the slab, is going to cut the slab and place the hole over there. Always face camera, that's mostly for 2D. You can use it on 3D as well. So it doesn't matter when you change your screen, that a geometry is going to move with your camera moving all around. We're gonna do all of this together. I just want to go through first, see what's going on, double job. And then shadow face on, if you turn on the shadows, the shadow that come from the sun behind the that object that you selected is gonna move with the object or it just stays. So that's basically a different. This is going to be the advanced attribute if you want to have the price, size, URL from different area or the type of it you can define over here, which this is the most important part for us for modeling. And this is going to be a good attribute if you want to use it later on. This checkbox, always make it check this box, because it's when you uncheck it, it's gonna replace the component in the library and then select the items over here. So I would recommend all the time make sure this box is checked. So let's just start with this. Don't change anything and hit create. So as soon as I hit create, if I come to my home button, I can see I have my column right there, right? So what I was talking about, the library component, you can have, it's going to be this area. So as soon as you have this, I can grab, drag and drop, as many as I want. So this is going to be really helpful. You can kind of place them anywhere that you want. You can basically just drag them, place them in this area. You can use this if you have fencing, if you have gates, trailer, I don't know, certain arrows or anything that you have in your logistics plan that you are using it on daily basis. You can create a component, save it in your library, and when you do your logistic, you can basically just drag and drop it over here. So right now I want to click on each. You can see is a component, and also if I click on this, you can see under my entity info, I can see that's going to be the volume, it's going to be column 1 name, so you can see, and then it's on tag. You can also place him on tag if you want. You can create a tag over here and place it on. I want to show you something. So if I double click and go into this one, if I want to make this down, you can see everything is going to change. That's why I was saying if you make a change to one object, all the other geometry that has the same component name on is going to change. So if you have a column in one level, you want to shorten them or make them longer or smaller or wider, when you make a change to one, all the other ones is going to change. So you can see basically if I'm moving, all of them is going to change. So this is one node, but sometimes it happens that you want to have a lot of column, but you want to only make a change to one of them but not the other ones. So you need to select that one that you want to make a change, and then right click, select make unique. So it basically is still a component, but it's gonna be unique, it's gonna be a different type. So if I right now go back to this one and then make changes, you can see these two is going to change, but not this guy, because this is unique. And if you notice, as soon as I clicked on it, it basically created another one, and you can see it right here, column 1 number 1, it's unique, that's going to be separate. And right now I have two different type. I have one column 1 and one column, let's say hashtag 1 or unique 1. So right now if I make changes to this one, these two only move because this is unique, and look at this, it is the same, but this one doesn't because we separated those, have a different name. So this is a big difference between the component and the group, that you can kind of make changes, you can use them, make change to one, everything is gonna change, and also you can make them unique if one of them has a different attribute or different shape. So let's start with this, right? So I'm gonna triple click over here, um, and then let's just make a component in this one. So for this one, I just put, let's say, I don't know, ramp, and then let's glue set component. So right now you can see this is basically red, green, and then if you want to, let's say, put it over here, put it this way. So this is gonna be my Y, and then create. So right now you see how the box looks like. So that's why I was saying, so if you have a skewed object with a skewed, let's say a near map, and you want to align your object to, this is a great way to do it. So it's basically you can align it and then move it. And right now this is gonna be my X, Y, and Z is not following this areas, and each time that I can kind of go and grab any of these ramp and kind of put them over here, you'll be able to kind of see what's going on with the ramp, right? So this is really, really helpful that I want you to understand. And then other note, you see where my move button is? So it basically snaps to a location that is my 000, like the origin. So if you remember, I put my basically X, Y, and Z at this corner. That's why when it comes in, this is gonna be my 000. But if I go back, let me just Control Z, and then just make a component. I want to set it to a different area. Like I want to put it, let's say over here. So I want to put X and then Y this way and create. So I want you to see how it looks like. First thing is you can see the thumbnail is gonna change. The box around it is gonna change. And also when I bring it in, you can see how it looks like. So I just want you to pay attention that the way that you set your component compared with the local or the global X, Y, and Z. That's how your thumbnail is going to be created. That's going to be your pivot point or the location that you basically moving your stuff around and is going to be the handle. So this is a very important note, and I want you to kind of be a little bit aware of that in terms of playing with the axes and then where you play them, how you want to see it in the thumbnail, how the different items is gonna check. Let's just do another one. So I'm gonna put it from the top. I just want to make sure you guys kind of pay attention to the thumbnail and how the thumbnail is gonna change. So my component, I want to set the axes. I want to put it here right now. I want to put this, and then let's say it says create, and you can see my thumbnail is changed because this is going to be my point. It's going to look at it this way, and I can see the top, and when I grab it you can see just showing him from the back of it. So just pay attention to those items that you want to look at it and then bring it in and then align it the way that you want. So right now I want to give you a quick tip on how to get the set axis and then also know how to align it and fix your thumbnail. So let me triple click my component. So right here I want to say glue to any surface, and I want to go to my set component. So you can see the shadow under it. That basically tells me how these geometry is gonna look like when you grab them from your library. So I'm gonna place this point over here. So you can see as soon as I change the y-axis to the top, you can see how it looks like it basically facing me, and then like or facing the screen, and you can see the whole background of it. This is how you can grab it, and the area that I'm putting the pivot point, that's going to be the area that you're grabbing it. So this is how I want these 2D image to come in when I grab it from library. So I'm going to assign this is what I want, yes, and then create. So right now you can see the top thumbnail is perfect, and then when I grab it, it basically grabbing that corner, right? So as soon as I go under like a different areas, right, under different surfaces, it basically snaps to any area that I want, and it stays perfectly as I want it, right? So basically right here on top, if I want to go on the surface, if I want to go on any sloped area. So I would recommend to kind of use that glue to any, and you can see the shadow behind it, and you'll be able to kind of align what's going on. The next one that I want to show you, if you go to the warehouse right here under the window, you'll be able to grab like gates, fencing, all different type of equipment and trailers that you want. You can bring and make a component, leave it in your library, and when you basically start your logistics, you can easily grab them from here and place them in your model. Also, you have the component option and component attributes under the window. So when you select an item and you want to go into advanced and then change the attributes or you see the different options, you'll be able to access it over here. So I'm gonna go through just a couple more so you guys have a better understanding. Let me create like an opening real quick, right? So I have this. I want to go to offset. Okay, so let's just offset these real quick, and then I want to get rid of like this opening in the middle. Okay, so I have an opening right here. I want to create a component and use these cutout on these geometry that I have. I want to cut a hole here, cut a hole on top, and then one off the slope. So I want to triple click, make components. I basically come over here. I'm gonna glue to any surface, and I want to right here cut opening. So as soon as I hit that, first of all, my thumbnail looks perfect. I like it the way it should be. I can see it, and when I grab it, it gives me that corner, which is going to be the pivot point. And if I, let's say, move this into this area, it's going to place it over here, and you can see how cut a hole for me. So if that's a slab or you need the opening, you'll be able to do that. And the cool thing about this is you can kind of move these along and you can place it, and the opening is going to move with it, right? So on this surface, let's do another one. So if I place it over here, you can see I can kind of create the hole inside the object. So this is really, really helpful for you to see. And then again, if you want to move it to the side, you can see you'll be able to move it easily to a different area. So let me see if I can kind of place it over there, and then you can see this is bigger, right? So it's not going to create a hole on top because there is no object, but at the bottom, as soon as they hit each other, they'll be able to create. And if I move these along this line, you can see how it's going to change. I think this is a very good feature in SketchUp to create an opening. This is going to be really, really good to adjust. And since this is our basically model that I have, I can make it a little bit smaller. And then since if you see, since there's a component for all of them, I can adjust all the other opening with it. So you can see all the other ones is going to change. But we did try this. So if I want to only look at this one, I make this unique and then go to scale and only adjust this one that I have. So right now, basically, I'll be able to only have this one in a different size with the other two. So I think this is a great tool for you to basically use these items and then create openings for windows, doors, I don't know, any slab opening, column location or whatnot. You can kind of use that. The last one that I want to go through with you guys, let me create a really quick column. So right here, I'm going to triple click, right click, make a component. So I want to say face camera. So face camera means when you move your camera, these 3D objects or 2D object is going to move with your camera, and the camera is going to be aligned with this red line, right? So this is going to be the line that your object is going to align to. So just be aware of that. You can click that one, and also if you have a shadows, I'm gonna check that, so we can go to the shadows tab and turn it on. You guys can see. So I want you to pay attention to this. As soon as I hit create, the orientation of this is gonna change to face the camera. So if you look at it, see how basically it's gonna move and then orient. And if I move around, you can see only this column moving around, and the other ones are kind of stuck in the same location because this one I basically wanted to face the camera for me. And if you go under shadow, hit the shadow, you'll be able to kind of see the shadows for all of those items that you have created, and you'll be able to see them and then kind of moving with the shadow. So I just want to make sure that you understand facing the camera. If you want to create the logistics, you have a logo, a 2D logo or something like this, and you want that to kind of face the camera to any angle that you move, you can basically only check that box when you create a component, and each area that you move, the logo is going to be exactly facing the camera for your snapshot. I think we reviewed all the major items that we have under component in detail. I'm hoping that you guys learn a few tips and tricks on how to use component and how to kind of use this in your daily workflow. If you like the content, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and let me know if you have any comments on using components. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.